My son Sam Tween had a birthday today, but we're having the actual party tomorrow night, which is basically just a sleepover at our apartment with two friends. One is in his class and the other is in a different one. Same school though. Before my son even got home from the bus, I got a call from his teacher, Lorna, requesting that the party involve all the students in the class. She learned about it because it came up as the class wished him a happy birthday. I at first politely refused, saying that wasn't reasonable, but she insisted to make sure nobody was left out. I responded by saying that she has no say in who is at my home ever, and that even if she did, my apartment simply cannot accommodate 32 kids and guardians. She says that because other students are involved, she does, and that I should have the party somewhere that allows all students to attend. I was ready to hang up or tell her off, but what she said at the end sparked an idea. I told her, "Okay, what's your address?" And when she asked why, I told her that since you thought you had a say and you wanted all your students to be a part of it, we might as well have the party at her house, and requested her address again. There's a pause before she says that's not exactly what she meant, and I tell her that no, she wants everyone to attend, so she should be the one to make it work before hanging up. This is where I probably became the idiot. Out of curiosity, I easily found her address, her social media is not private at all, and emailed her, "How does this email sound?" with an excerpt to the group email chain saying that Lorna has offered to host Sam's birthday party at her home and to come after school to X address. I wasn't planning on sending that to anyone else but her, I just wanted to prove the point and felt I was being sarcastic, but I know tone is hard online. She responded to not send it and do whatever I wanted for the birthday. She didn't care anymore. When I vented to my husband about it, he called me unhinged, but he agreed with my point. I'll admit I have a bit of a habit of going overboard when I feel wronged and probably went nuts, but I can't believe the audacity of this lady. Am I the idiot for suggesting my teacher host my son's party at her house? Everyone's the idiot here. Stopping the teacher's power play by throwing her logic at her? Genius. But then you had to be creepy about it towards the end. Public or not, that was weird, and your email could have been interpreted as a thinly veiled "I know where you live" threat. I agree with your significant other. Great argument, but you definitely went overboard. Exactly this. That's a great argument, but you definitely should have stopped short of sending creepy stalker vibes. You quickly went from being deeply justified and right to possibly opening yourself up to legal ramifications, especially with the paper trail evidence you so willingly created. The old adage hits true here: two wrongs don't make a right. I tell my students to comply, then complain. The second you pop off, like researching, premeditating her address, doubtful her home address is listed on her Facebook, Instagram, etc., you looked elsewhere. You eliminate any real justified complaint you had. Sooner rather than later, you need to send an extremely sincere apology. I'm genuinely curious. Why do you think it's creepy? Credentials are usually public and parents look into who is going to interact with their children on a long-term basis. Unless you have no LinkedIn profile or public CV, looking up someone's past work and school history on their profiles is fairly tame. The teacher's request was unhinged too. The rule she's enforcing is to ensure one kid isn't left out when the whole class is invited. It's a bullying preventative. Asking two friends for your birthday is not much, but if he asked everyone but one or two, the teacher's request would have been a lot more reasonable. But now it's like a play date. Does the teacher expect that all play dates involve the whole class? That's ridiculous. OP, I guarantee you that because of this, the teacher won't open her big mouth on this topic to any other parent going forward. She was massively out of line, now she's in her place. You said you weren't going to actually send the email. This was a lesson on the absurdity of the situation, and you're not the idiot. I'm not sure why people are saying you are. It's insane. You have a response that matched the craziness of her demand, but at least yours was a joke. I, 29 female, gave birth to our first child, a beautiful baby boy, a few months ago. It's been a whirlwind, as I'm sure any new mom can understand. Sleepless nights, endless feedings, and adjusting to being responsible for this tiny, helpless human. I'm exhausted, but I love my son more than anything. My husband, Mark, 32 male, has been supportive, but not without complaints. Over the past month, Mark has been dropping not-so-subtle hints that he's unhappy with the lack of us time. At first, I tried to reassure him. I explained that I'm healing physically and adjusting emotionally. Frankly, I'm just too tired to think about romance right now. He'd nod, but the comments keep coming. It feels like I don't matter anymore. You're a mom now, but you're still my wife. When will things go back to normal? Last night it came to a head. After I finally got the baby down after an hour of rocking, Mark pulled me aside and said he needed to talk. He told me he felt neglected and like he was competing with our baby for my attention. He said it wasn't fair that everything revolved around the baby and that we hadn't been intimate in weeks. I was floored. I told him that I understand that it was a big adjustment for both of us, but the baby was 3 months old. Of course, my attention is focused on him right now. He literally can't survive without me. I reminded him that I was still recovering, dealing with postpartum changes, and trying my best to keep everything together on very little sleep. Mark rolled his eyes and said, "It's not just about the baby, it's about us. You don't even try anymore." That stung. I told him that right now our baby's needs come first, and I needed him to be patient and supportive, not make me feel guilty for being a mother. He snapped back, saying, "Well, I didn't sign up to be ignored in my own marriage." At that point, I lost it. I told him that if he expected me to prioritize his ego over our newborn, maybe he was the one who didn't understand what he signed up for when we decided to have a child. He stormed off, and now he's been giving me the cold shoulder. Some of my friends say I was too harsh and should have been more empathetic to his feelings, but others think he's being selfish and immature. So, am I the idiot for telling my husband that our baby comes first right now? Info, what is he doing as a parent for this baby? OP, have you suggested that maybe you'd have more energy to spend on your husband if said husband was actually a participating parent to his child? You are not the idiot. Your baby should come first. If he's not mature enough to understand that and throw a tantrum after just a few months, then he's the baby. The guy is crying for more intimacy a few short months after you gave birth. To me, he sounds like he isn't tired enough from looking after a newborn. Are you doing most of it? Because you shouldn't. Our first baby made our marriage really rocky. My husband struggled a lot to put his big boy pants on and put his needs and wants in the back seat. It almost ended our marriage, to be honest. What helped is that I never stopped expecting him to do as much childcare as I was doing. Not as much, but a lot. I never indulged in his immaturity. I don't know how to do it, to learn I'm too tired, to me too, the baby wants you, to I've just fed him. Find a way to calm him by yourself. Eventually he grew, and 2 kids later, he is a very present, hands-on father. Congratulations on your baby, and good luck with your big baby. Update, I've decided the best thing for me to do is divorce Mark and take my baby with me. I've been in denial, but as the comments say, I've been in Stockholm Syndrome about our relationship. Mark is a big man baby, and there isn't room in the relationship right now for a second child. I don't need Mark's input because, as the comments point out, he isn't supporting me enough anyway. Who needs him? I'll be happier alone with my child. There's no room in a relationship for compromise. As a mom, my and the baby's needs come above all others, and it's a huge red flag that my husband is having these entitled conversations about intimacy a few short months after our first child. I don't think I can trust him ever again, so the relationship must end. Luckily, in my country, we prioritise free social housing and rent for single mothers with newborns, so I'll be fine in a couple of months once the council rehomes us. I will live with my parents in the meantime. Thanks. I, 29 female, am engaged to Jake, 32 male. We've been engaged for 2 years. He has an older brother, Sam, 38. When Jake and I got engaged, Jake wanted me to have his grandmother's engagement ring. Jake talked to Sam, and Sam said that since he doesn't plan to get remarried or have children, Jake should use the ring. I love that ring and love the sentimental meaning behind it. Sam met a wonderful woman, Hannah, within the past year, and they're expecting a child. Once they found out it would be a girl, Hannah told Sam she wanted him to get the ring back for their daughter. Jack has already told Sam no. During Sunday dinner last weekend at my mother-in-law's house, Hannah brought up the ring and how it should be given to their daughter since she would be a great-grandchild and I'm not related by blood. It became an intense discussion. Luckily, my mother-in-law also agreed with my fiancé and me. Hannah then asked if her daughter could have it in our will. I said no because it would either be given to our son or our future daughter. I told Hannah to take up the problem with Sam since he's the one who let Jake have the ring to give to me. Hannah ended up leaving the house crying. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. That's your engagement ring. Sam had his chance at the ring, but he passed it to Jake. It became your engagement ring. His trying to somehow retroactively claim the engagement ring because his 1-year relationship wants it is crazy. It's even crazier that she wants it for an unborn baby. If the ring is valuable, it gives the vibe that Hannah is money grubbing. I know you say she's wonderful, but this is worrying behavior for a year-old relationship. A baby is already on the way, and she's already looking for what she can take because baby is related. It does sound like some kind of ulterior motives going on here. I wonder why Hannah thinks it would be okay for Sam to ask for the ring back after 2 years. I mean, if OP's engagement ended, that would be a reason to return the ring, but only to Jake, not to Sam or Hannah. I'm betting that Sam has no desire to marry or have children, but he knocked someone up and is doing the right thing. Hannah knows that OP has the ring because Sam never wanted to get married, so it's a constant reminder that her baby daddy is just marrying her out of obligation. However, if Hannah gets the ring, she can believe she's her baby daddy's choice, which sucks, and it's not OP's problem. OP giving the ring won't actually change anything either. Sam will still be getting dragged into something he never wanted. You should take the higher ground and calm things down. Perhaps a simple question would help. How do we know that the baby's related? This is all on Sam. He's the one who should be dealing with the fallout from the wonderful Hannah. Leaving the house crying sounds like either manipulation to try and get her way or a tantrum because she's not getting her way. It's going to be a crap show if there's any kind of inheritance down the road. My father has dementia, is no longer lucid at all, and is living in a 24-hour care facility. His doctors say at this stage his life expectancy can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years. He knew this was coming, and he set his affairs in order when he still had a sound mind. He gave me power of attorney, and he made me the executor of his estate. The state laws here and the terms of my dad's power of attorney document give me the power to sell or transfer anything. Effectively, I'm in complete and total control of his estate. I'm the youngest of 4, 2 older brothers and a sister, and there's a large age gap between me and my 3 siblings. I'm 18 years younger than my sister, who's the next youngest. Because of the age difference, we were never close. When my dad told all of us about his estate planning decisions, I could tell my siblings were really apprehensive about how much power my dad gave me, but I told them everything from that point on. Our dad's estate would effectively be frozen. I'll find management companies to take care of his properties, and the money will go back into the estate for his care. I'm not selling anything, I'm not buying anything, and I will follow our dad's wishes to the letter. When our dad passes, we'll divide up the estate according to his will. Everyone was happy with that. In my dad's will, he left some property for my brother. My brother is now asking me to use my power of attorney to sell the property our father left to him and transfer the money to him now. He needs it to keep his business running while he bids for a big contract. He says he can win it, allowing him to keep the business running long term. He says the property will eventually go to him and he's going to sell it, so the end result is the same. It's just a timing issue. I refused and reminded him that I promised everyone I wasn't going to sell anything or make any changes, and I was not making any exceptions. He gets upset and calls me an idiot for holding up his inheritance, and an even bigger idiot because I will be screwing over all the people who work for him. But my dad is still alive. He's not dead, and I'm not just willing to go through his pockets while he's still breathing. My other brother agrees with me, while my sister agrees with my brother. Am I the idiot? Your father is alive. There is no inheritance. Dementia care can be expensive. Your father's assets need to be used to support him while he lives. Distributing the estate early is stealing from your father. In many jurisdictions, a power of attorney has a legal obligation to act in the best interest of the person he is the power of attorney for. Removing property from the estate to no benefit would not be in the father's best interest, and would therefore be a criminal act. You would be personally liable for the property, not the idiot. Suggested response: Dad is alive. I am not holding up your inheritance because your inheritance doesn't yet exist. Do not put me in the uncomfortable position of asking me again. If you sell the property without it being needed to care for your father, you may be under the gun legally. I wouldn't do it. Your brother is wrong in thinking he's entitled to something he'll eventually get anyway. Maybe he will, but he may not if your father needs to sell it to cover his living and care costs. Your dad trusted you enough to leave you in charge, and he has made a very wise choice. Do not let your brother manipulate you into doing something that you know is not legal or ethical. Shame on him for being so self-entitled and greedy. It doesn't belong to him. I'm 28 female and Chinese American. My husband and my in-laws are all white. They had a family reunion on Saturday, and because my husband wanted me to go so badly, I made a traditional Chinese dish. My mother-in-law gave me a bad look when I placed the plate down on the table. She comes up to me and asks, "What have you got there?" I told her what it was, and she told me that Eastern food didn't belong in her home. I was forced to throw it out and my heart was broken. I walked out and sat in the car for an hour waiting for my husband to come out. On the car ride home, it was mostly silent until he broke it with, "Yeah, sorry about that. My mom really doesn't like any culture outside of my family's. My in-laws have never been directly racist to me before. This is the second gathering I've been to with them, and the third seeing my mother-in-law. My family isn't happy about this, and my sister suggested that I divorce my husband and marry within our own culture. My mom was never happy with me marrying him in the first place, and I didn't have a wedding because of this. My husband has a neutral option on the situation and acts like it isn't much of a big deal. He said that his family didn't seem to care about our relationship at all, but I'm starting to think that he may have lied to me about that." It doesn't belong in her home. Is that really a metaphor for how she sees about her son bringing you into their lives? What a hideous, tacky witch. My daughter-in-law is Chinese, and I love her. She's smart and talented, and I think my son is so lucky they found each other. And I'd be thrilled if she brought something from her culture to a family gathering. I'm so sorry about your experience with those awful people. Not the idiot, but your husband and his family most definitely are. He could have very well stood up to his mom. He could have warned you up front before making your dish. Do you really want to be part of a racist family? Your husband will never have the courage to say something to his family. You've got a husband problem. He left her sitting outside in the car while he continued to enjoy his family gathering. I wouldn't want to have children with him. Can you imagine how the children would get treated by their grandparents? Their dad would never stand up for them if grandma was mean to them either. I don't usually say this, but I think your sister is right. You need to cut your losses. You don't necessarily have to marry within your culture, but you can be more careful about the attitudes of people you date before you get serious. Good luck, OP.